Okay. Okay. We are back. We are back. We are back. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while that I've been away. I've been doing finals, etc., etc., etc. A bunch of essays. It's been a lot. I just recorded another video. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna put out first, so you know, there will be an explanation somewhere, but I'm happy to be back now that everything is kind of winding down a little bit. I don't have to dedicate as much effort into certain assignments. I now feel the liberty to make a couple videos. So that's what I'm doing. Today, by the title, you should probably guess or have read, or if you just clicked on it because you got the notification because you're notification squad. The title of this video is Guild Wars 2, my top 5 feature request. So I'm going to be going down the line of all my features that I would like to see, speculate a little bit about them, and yeah, that's the only real purpose of this video. For the sake of content, I wanted to make a video on this. So first and foremost, we have request number 5, and this is fishing. Fishing, a long-standing tradition of any MMORPG. A lot of people have been wanting fishing in Guild Wars 2 for some time. And we got scribing with Heart of Thorns, which is a new crafting profession, or crafting class job. It's weird because professions are the name of the classes, but I digress. In Path of Fire, we did not get any new crafting or gathering type, but we have been, for quite a while now, hinted about the prospects of fishing with staff skins that look like fishing poles, with the Omicron, who are avid fishers. I can't help but wonder if this small sampling of the fishing stuff could be a reference to something to come. Now, fishing could be its own crafting profession or job, or fishing could just be another form of gathering that bleeds into chefing or cooking. But fishing could be a wonderful implementation, and just spotting fishing around in the existing maps in bodies of water could also be nice because you get different rarities of fish. I don't know, these are all conjecture and conspiracy. Request number 4, or, fan theory. Boating. Now, we are going cross seas. So, I can't help but wonder if there will be aspects of boating that will probably just go by airship. But there's a lot of water around, and with underwater content, I can't help but wonder if there will be a boating format. Now, you might say, hey, we already have skimmers. They're basically our own boats, and they can even go underwater. And I say, you're absolutely right. However, skimmers are like the kayak. It's only for one person. Now, what if there were boats where you could have multiple people on it, and you could have guild boats? That would be really fun. It would kind of bleed into this piratey-esque fantasy, which maybe Thief could have a pirating elite specialization, or even warrior. Who knows? But it could allow you to mount up with a bunch of your friends to take on, there's maybe some sea monsters or a sea boss somewhere. Maybe there could be a giant ocean map where it's just, islands and stuff, and then a lot of liberty to go out on the ocean with boats and with your friends, etc., etc. So boating could be a really cool feature. It could be a really great way to maybe build something with your friends or even with your guild. You can maybe sell different boat skins on the gem store, but as always, I would love where we have gem store skins for these things such as gliders and mounts. I would love in-game rewards that give you updated and new skins that you can acquire in-game. And they've kind of started doing that with the capes, but I hope it progresses to... They did it with the war claw. Okay, we got that. Request number 3. Now we're kind of getting a little bit more bare bones, a little bit to the fundamentals of MMORPGs and the RPG genre as a whole. So my feature for number 3 is new races. I would love to play Tengu. I think Tengu is probably one of the more reliable races that people could put their money on. If not Tengu, I would highly request dwarves. I just want to play something new. And the whole dialogue then shifts to how do you do the story? How do you do the main personal story? Well, I would say have their own starting zone where you level to 30 in the Dominion of Winds or whatever. You level to 30, and then once you're done that, you then go into the normal Vigil, Whisper, Priory quest lines. So there's not a whole lot of personal story stuff that you need to do, as long as you just let them bleed into the already structured Priory, Whisper, Vigil storylines. And the voice acting is also another thing, but in all honesty, I don't need voice acting. We already did go through a period where they weren't doing voice acting due to COVID-19, and I think it would probably be understandable, I hope, by the community if they gave you a new race but chose and or couldn't go back and voice all of those voice lines in the 1 to 80 story, personal story. I would not mind that. And I wouldn't mind a prerequisite being you complete the personal story and you get a character to level 80. The second feature does still reside in the area of customization and characters, and this is new character customization options. Now, you might be just thinking about new faces and new hairstyles and new makeup options, which I'm all here for, and I also would love to see. No, I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about somewhat of a World of Warcraft allied race function. Okay, now hear me out. So, we have the Mordrum, which are presumably still around. We got a little glimpse of a Sylvari in the Festival of the Four Winds, I believe, and he was like Mordrum, and then wasn't. He's kind of coming to terms. But I would love if you could do a total makeover kit or go into the character creation and create a Mordrum skin, because we have all the Mordrum models of the rough, texturized, red-eyed skin stuff. So I would love if you could, as a Sylvari, also create a Mordrum character. And also with the Awakened, Palawa Joko is no longer in power. So I would love if, as a human, you could total makeover kit or create another character that has all the assets and elements of an awakened humanoid. And as for the larger awakened, the Mordant Crescent, the bigger, stronger guys, they seem to have more of a Norn model, and or just very large human. So maybe you could also create a character that is a Mordant Crescent with those big, brusque, like chunky, things. So it's not necessarily new models in terms of Tengu, with having different animations and like different rigs, but more so the current rigs that we do have, but allowing players to at least customize characters to more closely resemble them. I would love to play as a purified awakened. An awakened, now that Palawa Joko's gone, is fighting with other people. Or playing as a Mordrum who has all the physical features of a Mordrum, but now that Mordremoth is gone, has their mentality back. So they can finally become better. Be nice. I think that would be a wonderful feature. It's probably very far-fetched, but I would love an allied races type deal with Guild Wars 2, because we have all these other things. Maybe even use the Skrit as another race. Dwarves, I think, have a model of a Norn just shrunk down, so you could do that as well. And then number one, this is already confirmed pretty much. That is elite specializations. I know, a little bit of a cop-out. Meh. But if I wasn't going to do elite specializations, I would probably say like a 10v10 PvP map or a 15v15 PvP map, and updates to like the PvP system in terms of the amount of attention it gets, in terms of like tournaments and stronghold and different cycling of different game modes. That would be my number one. But because it's pretty standard and pretty reliable, elite specializations. And with those elite specializations, I would also say extensive balancing across all professions should be gone into it. And I wouldn't mind if they didn't necessarily give us a balance patch, a huge balance patch, and just waited. And then when End of Dragons releases, presumably with the elite specializations, we get extensive changes to the 9 existing professions as well. But elite specs that I would love to see include like monks, paragons, ritualists, mesmers with longbows, rangers with a rifle, etc., etc. Revenant with a great sword. I mean, there's these iconic like fan requested things that ArenaNet could be doing that we might not necessarily be privy to right now. But hopefully, soon enough, we will get more information about End of Dragons when Champions begins to come to a close. So those are my favorite uh, feature tips. A lot of class customization, a lot of race customization, but I wouldn't mind an extra method of fishing. That could maybe bleed into more crafting stuff. And also like boats, which would presumably act as like multi-person mounts on water. But yeah, those are my feature requests. I would love to hear your feature requests down below because I did have somewhat of a struggle thinking of others when I came down to the last one I needed to put in for my notes. So I would love to hear if there were any features that I didn't say. And I would also just love to hear your comments about End of Dragons as a whole. So make sure you comment, like the video if you liked it, comment down below, subscribe. It's completely free. It would very much help me out. I'm trying to get to 10K. I don't know. I think that's just like my goal. But if you want to take the extra step and help me out on Patreon, you get early access to videos, you get to request videos, and get some playtime with me. Thank you to my existing patrons. You guys are wonderful beings. I very much appreciate you during these Covina times. And I'm excited to be back. Finals are a bitch, and stay healthy and stay safe, everyone. Bye, everyone.